Welcome to a very special Facebook Live chat with the producers and stars of Son of Zorn, everyone! What are you doing? Hi, yeah!
Is that a competing Facebook Live that you're running right
Yes,
now?
I have my own show.
You didn't put your
Oh
own
my
live
God.
stream? How dare you?
I'm sorry.
I want to remind all of you watching live to not miss the series preview of Son of Zorn this Sunday following the NFL doubleheader on Fox. Yeah. Or you can also watch it live on Xbox One and Xbox 360 through the Fox Now app. We're actually at the Microsoft, this is the Microsoft Theater here in Venice. So thank you so much to Microsoft for hosting us, and you can check that out on Xbox One and Xbox 360. And of course, Son of Zorn premiering on the 25th. Yeah. So lots to look forward to. We just watched a very special screening of it, and it was awesome to see. I spoke to some of you at Comic-Con. For people, is there another chat, like another conversation happening there?
No.
Are you trying to steal my thunder?
I am not.
They
Cheryl
have
told me to
another-
calm down.
All right,
You guys have another show that you're
let's do
watching,
some
right?
introductions here. Can we do some introductions for everyone watching on Facebook, live and here in the audience? Starting here. Your name, your role within the show, or part of the show.
I'm Sally Bradford McKenna. I'm the showrunner.
I'm Eric Capel, director, executive producer.
Yep. I'm Reed Agnew. I'm creator, executive producer, writer. Correct?
Got a lot of echo. I'm Cheryl Hines. I play the role of Edie.
I'm Tim Meadows, and I play the role of Craig.
Things are getting weird.
And I play Zorn's boss.
I'm Johnny Pemberton, and I play Alan.
Son of Zorn.
You guys really help each other out. I like how you guys make it work together with the mics there. Even though we can hear you from here, but I like it. It's a lot of support going on. Let's talk about the development of this series. From the beginning, you know, obviously this is like a big project to develop because it involves live action, animation. Talk about the inception, the original idea, and how it came to life.
Well, we had been working on another television show called Wilfred, and we met with Chris and Phil, Lord and Miller, and they wanted to develop something with us, and I think it was Phil Lord who originally said, in a conversation that involved a lot of different funny ideas, and we were out having drinks, and he said, what if He-Man gets divorced? And like, for some reason, that kind of stuck to us, and we started like riffing about it and laughing about it and imagining the culture clash of He-Man with like the most mundane, banal suburban world, and it's just
Well, we tried very hard to make this character not at all like He-Man.
right.
Remember that.
I'm not allowed to say He-Man, so I'm not going to say He-Man.
Yeah, you just all right, we got a strike on this live stream, it's done. But from there then, how did you decide to move forward on it actually becoming, you know, the series and the format and the storyline and everything?
Well, we just have like a room full of like the most like weird, goofy writers, and like they're so strange, and some of them barely ever. You never see them because they don't leave indoors, and they're just, I don't know. We just all.
Let's do one of those.
That sounds attractive.
We gave them goblets before this.
You need to meet Jordan Young. You should meet Jordan Young.
And so once you guys came together, talk about getting involved when you heard the idea and jumping on board.
Yeah, I mean, I come from network TV. I've only done live action network sitcoms, and to me this just felt like such a different way of doing, kind of some of the similar stories that you see on a lot of shows. It's still, grounded, relatable TV stories that we're doing, just with this very unique twist where, one of the characters is a cartoon barbarian.
Yeah. I came on sort of in the middle of these two when we did the presentation. I came on to direct it, which is where, we sort of figured out how to do all this live action animation stuff together, which was and is a challenging thing to do. Yeah.
But you made it work.
We made it work, yeah, we made it
No,
work.
it hasn't worked yet.
Yes. After Sunday, well, let's all meet back here.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about
And you didn't make it work.
A lot of people hadn't seen like the whole thing come together, but I'm sure we saw it in bits. And when you guys were recording or not just recording, but shooting. What was it like shooting with an animated character? Let's talk to the stars of the show.
Oh. Well, no, I guess.
First.
It's a very strange way to work because you're talking to nobody. So we have a great actor, Dan Lippert, who stands in for Zorn. Dan is 6'7". We always
Officially 6'7".
Well, every time we do a panel, it changes. And he's very tall.
Yeah, he's the Paul Bunyan of Son of Zorn.
And he's very funny. Dan is very funny. He's a great improviser. And he rehearses with us. And then when it comes time to shoot the scene, Dan stands behind the camera or somewhere out of sight.
Or he sits.
And then we do the scene to where we remember him standing and walking. And so it's a very strange...
It's talking to a piece of tape.
Strange is another
Yeah.
word for terrible. Sometimes it's terrible.
Tell it.
Yeah,
Go,
tell
Johnny.
Tell us what it's
Sometimes
like.
it's terrible because you're looking at nothing and you're trying to interact with this thing. Oh, I have to look at you, and you have to take facial recognition cues off of something that doesn't exist. So sometimes it's kind of
There's times though we put Dan across from you.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes that's true.
Guys, we should talk about this off stage.
It's gotten awkward.
This guy was
I didn't realize how challenging it was going to be in the audition process. Like, what was it? Did you guys even have to or read or like what was that? Or
I don't think anybody
Audition, are
did.
you kidding me? Fucking Tim Meadows.
Did they text you?
They called me on the phone. Basically, my manager called me and told me what it was all about. And I was like, well, yeah, I need to make some money, so let's do this for me. So we jumped on board. No, but I knew who was involved in it. I thought it was a really funny idea. And so, yeah, that was basically it for me. Also, the Microsoft Theater, are you fucking kidding me?
Locked.
Okay, great, thank you. They don't want that. Is it okay to curse? I'm sorry.
I don't think so.
It's not?
There are the people that hired me. Yes.
Live
I guess it's-
Facebook.
We're getting the
What? Thumbs up.
Can we curse?
Oh, a
Guys,
thumbs up.
comments in the video that you're watching. Let us know if you have any questions or thoughts.
Yeah.
And share this video.
Shit.
I just want to make sure it's okay to curse when my kids are watching. So,
Are your kids watching?
no, I'm kidding.
Fuck your kids.
Come on, man.
What about all of you guys getting involved? Did you have the same, obviously, reaction? Did you think it was any easier than it was, working with an animated character as a lead when you originally pitched the show?
Artemis? Artemis.
Oh no.
Artemis, what did you think of an animated character, Artemis?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Artemis, what did you think of initially about working with an animated character? What were your thoughts,
Oh
Artemis?
God, I was like, paycheck. And then they put me in the room, and then they were like, do this monologue. And I was like, okay, I'll do this monologue. And they were like, now pretend that you're doing this monologue to a person, but the person's not gonna be there. I was like, that's some weird shit, but I'm down, let's do it. And then we did it, and I do remember sometime halfway through the first episode being like, oh, I'm gonna have to get better at this. And I think I did, so stay tuned, you guys, because 6 or 7, I hit my peak. Like I'm looking at somebody and somebody's reacting to me. I mean, it's like, I went to school for that shit.
Artemis was one of the cases where her audition actually made us rewrite the character. Just because it was so funny and good, and we completely reconceived and rewrote her character because we were like, but Artemis is an asshole. I will say that.
How much improv was involved in your scene? Because each of you have a really great improv background. Were you able to improvise, or was it pretty much scripted and you just went with it?
Oh, me?
All of you.
Oh, 100% of it is improvised.
And then we do the animation after.
Yeah.
We all sit in the office and color and then draw.
It's one of the first shows that's been animated by the actors who are in the scenes. So how it works is when Tim does my scenes. It's sort of like Lennon and McCart, whatever his name is. Tim does mine and I do Tim's, and then it's the same with Cheryl and Artemis. We just switch off scenes.
Cheryl's like wondering what she's doing.
I don't know.
Cheryl,
What
bring
am
it
I?
back, bring it back.
Yeah.
Please,
Bring it back.
May I?
Yes. What was the question?
Same Linen.
They're asking legitimate questions, and you
Oh,
guys.
it's funny. It's entertaining.
No, don't encourage that. Is there? I think the question was: is there improv involved?
Oh, yes.
What is that? What is this? Improv, is that short for a different word?
Okay.
Asking.
So the answer is yes, there is improv involved. And that being said, we have the best writers in the business, and they write an incredible script. We always shoot the script as written because it's funny, and they've spent a lot of time on it, and it all works.
Right.
I mean, really, on the Fox lot, when it comes time to do a table read, everybody comes to listen because you can't believe what you're hearing, and it's amazing.
Yeah, every episode,
Here,
like the
check.
episodes, like that's the great, like you saw the pilot, which is introducing everything, but like we would come in and every episode, the stories move forward for everybody. We were always surprised when we would leave the read through. Cheryl and I would always go, oh my God, this was so great this week, you know?
Yeah.
But like she was saying, the scripts are already really good. And basically we improvise afterward, like get tired of doing the scene over and over again. That's when we start getting silly and sort of like coming up with stuff.
Well, that's one of the reasons that we cast Dan Lippert as Zorn, because he is an improviser from the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. He's super funny. We didn't just want like a really tall stand-in to stand in for Zorn. Like if we came into situations where these guys, we wanted to go off book a little bit, Dan would be there and they could bounce stuff back and forth. Then, when we record Jason Sudeikis for Zorn, there's like another layer of, he adds his spin to certain lines too. So, editing.
Talk about the bus. We were just talking.
The bus.
Saying,
Yes.
We were talking because what's interesting about shooting the show is yes, we have a chance to improvise on set, and then when it goes to Jason, because this is the first time I saw this show tonight.
Yes.
And I didn't hear about the bus when he said, "Oh, great people take the bus." Rosa Parks.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I
Yeah.
hadn't heard that before, but
Yeah, it was
Sally was
something that-
saying that Jason improvised it when he was, recording his stuff.
When we came up with the butt, we had Jason, we were like, just riff on the butt. Like, we're embarrassing your son, he's embarrassed about taking the bus, just like dig yourself a really deep hole and then try to climb out of it and fall right back in. So Jason did like 20 minutes of that on the bus. There's like a 20-minute take. He said so much more than what was in there.
Sure.
It's pretty insane. There can be a special episode that's just
About the
Zorn.
bus?
Yeah, just Zorn talking about Alan riding the bus.
On the bus.
That's what social media is for, the upticks.
Oh.
Right? Oh, yeah.
Well, here,
girls are rowdy.
they're not going to animate 20 minutes of Zorn.
Oh, right.
No, the audio's out there.
The audio.
How much do you each relate to your characters?
I thought you were going to ask me how much do I eat.
I was thinking that.
Well, it depends on different days on different amounts of hunger. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's a tough one.
Oh,
Do you relate to your character do you think about like when you were that young, like in high school, and then you relate to it?
I do sometimes, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
I think we relate probably about, I think it depends on the situation. Sometimes it's like very similar to something I've encountered, and other times it's, obviously with Alan, like we saw, I don't have animated legs, so that's definitely something where I cannot relate to that.
Reveal.
Right.
Yeah.
We just saw that, so it's going to talk
Yeah,
about
but people online. Oh, it's fine, don't worry.
Are you kidding me?
Oh.
Oh, God.
I feel like I relate to Edie because I have kids. I have a kid, and then I have stepkids, and so they're always embarrassed about their parents. And which is kind of hilarious. And then as a parent, when you know that you're doing something that is embarrassing to your child, for some reason it makes you want to do it more. So there's a lot of that goes on in this show. And then, you know, I'm also divorced and remarried, so I understand, you know, it's complicated. You have different relationships. Reed's got to go. You have different relationships. He's like, divorce, let me get it.
I think she can also be, I think Cheryl is a little bit, maybe can relate to being in love with Tim Meadows.
Wow.
I'm slightly in love with Tim Meadows. Oh, slightly.
I can totally relate to my character because in real life I'm a writer and just a guy, and on the show that's what I am too.
Wait, Tim has to go. I want to hear if he's in love with me or not.
No, it was very surprising when we started shooting. Me and Cheryl, we hit it off really well.
Yeah.
And so I think that maybe influenced the way things sort of went on the set. Because we're lovers now. Sorry.
There's a lot of hot
Stepkids
sex.
are kids' children.
Hot sex in this show. Wow.
Bring it to your husband online.
When your daughter laughs when people recognize you. When we all went to Comic-Con,
Yes.
when an elevator opens, your
Yes.
daughter immediately starts giggling just when anyone looks in your direction.
When anyone looks in my direction, they go, Cheryl Hines, and my daughter's like, Cheryl Hines! And just thinks like, that's hilarious. And then when we go, you know, to McDonald's, she'll go, is that Cheryl Hines? Okay. Next one will go, oh, is it? And I'm like, okay, let's just stop it down.
Eric, what's that song your daughter has about Cheryl?
Oh, she
the
goes,
funnest thing ever.
2 tickets to Cheryl Hines.
She's 4 years old, by the way.
I love that song.
Post that. He got viral.
That's what the show,
I did.
the
I'll
show
make my
should be
coming
called
out.
that.
It's cute. It's cute.
Did the characters or the storyline evolve at all?
I'm sorry, don't you
oh,
wanna
wait,
know
oh no,
how-
yeah. Sorry, my bad.
We just thought you were too drunk to answer.
I only had one goblet of wine. I would like, what was it called?
How do you relate?
All you know is you didn't answer it.
I don't want to be anybody's boss in skirt suits. Skirt suits are not my jam. And I wear a lot of skirt suits. Really, I relate to your character a lot. I really do actually. Like awkward teen and not fitting in, and because I'm 16 inside. Yeah, no, take this away.
I sort of related to my character only in the fact that he was black. That's all I related to. Because I think this guy, he's smarter than I am in real life. People put like psychological terms in the script, and then after they see that I can't fucking say it and read through, the lines are gone. Like, thank you guys.
Hey Tim, how do you feel about your character's footwear?
I don't like his footwear at all. At all.
Or his shorts. Do you like his
shorts.
shorts?
I don't like anything about my character.
Craig is like the lamest wardrobe in the world. It's like you look like a postman who's like just got off work or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
It's true.
Okay, there's gotta
It's
be more
true.
questions.
No, wait, there was
no, I was just letting him know. I didn't want to interrupt this magic.
The crew on the show, they don't even recognize me when I'm like in my normal clothes. They think I'm like my son or something. Like, who's that young man strapped in? Anyway.
As you continue with this amazing cast and figuring out the logistics of creating the show, did the storylines or characters change or evolve from what you had set out to do?
Yeah, I think they do. I think the first season is really it's Zorn coming to Orange County, trying to reconnect with his ex-wife and with his son. We do stories of, he's trying to help his kid with a bully, with girl problems, and we have a little bit of, it's mostly him trying to, get a job and just trying to acclimate. We have a little bit of his old, Zephyrian world. We see some other animated characters, but it's pretty much sprinkled in. We pretty much tried to stay strictly to Zorn, just kind of fish out of water, trying to adjust.
Do you want to add?
No, the relationships of all the characters grow over the season. Obviously, Alan doesn't stay he might hate Zorn a little bit in that first episode, but you definitely see their relationship blossom over the
Are you
first
going to be in
season.
one of those outfits? Like, what are they called when you're in the little loincloth? What?
Oh, like
Yeah, that's
Zorn?
What is it?
Not Lederhosen.
Lady Hosen?
Oh, what Zorn wears? Like the little...
Breechcloth?
For daddy.
Loincloth.
It's also called
Furry panties.
Furry briefs?
Yeah.
A Zephyrian bird.
We can't give anything away.
Okay, yeah, of course, yeah, of course.
I don't know. I've
Well,
already.
one luxury that we're afforded on this show is that just by having this animated element, you can sort of do tropes that you've seen a million times before. The guy who's bringing his kid a car because he's like trying to solve this problem in the wrong way by just giving his kid what he wants. It's funny now because we have these like Zornisms that we can use, and you can read. It's actually like plagiarizing, but except just sprinkle in a little bit of Zorn. You can do these tropes; they don't feel old; they feel like fresh and new just because of this thing.
Yeah, there's that great Growing Pains episode where Alan Thicke stabs the car. Did you ever see that one? It is
Yes, we saw that one. We have someone in the audience that saw it. We have someone that saw it.
You know that one?
So with that said, are you going to tackle any other social issues?
Are you going to tackle any other social issues? Great question.
That's an intelligent question.
We're not like a political show, but we do. Yeah, it's more like social. It's more like human interaction issues. It's about like becoming a better father and growing as a person and sort of sacrificing for the good of your son. And maybe like learning to accept Craig.
Thank you, Sean.
How did you get dragged in?
I don't know.
Well, also because it takes so long to put together these episodes, like you can't necessarily be so topical. Like, do you think you want to be more topical at a certain point, or are you going to ever approach more topical issues?
I feel like South Park.
Yeah, or you
South Park.
They do it so well. It's like why even try to like attempt to be like that? It's more about just characters and stories.
Yeah, but as far as the time difference, we finished shooting episode 13, which doesn't air until February, March. We finished shooting that
June 23rd.
Was it really?
Yep, I remember.
Man.
Oh, you
All
have
right.
a good memory.
Boy,
Someone's
you
ready to
really
get
love
out.
working on the show. Every day you're like, June 23rd. You're on your way.
Hey, you want to know your license plate number?
What's that?
You want to know your license plate number?
June 23rd?
Yeah.
Oh, you just think everything's June 23rd. But yeah, we finished shooting. We finished shooting the show a while ago. We're still, as far as the animation, we're maybe 5 episodes in on animation.
We're so tired too.
Yeah, I'm so tired of drawing. That's just the drawing.
I suppose we could leave room for Zorn to make topical references to things, but and then grab those lines of dialogue at the last minute. But as far as these guys, this episode that airs next week was shot in February. So what was going on in February?
We were shooting
Valentine's. All that topical Valentine's Day stuff.
We have some questions I know from some of the audience. All right, and we have a mic, so we are bringing the mic to you right
one
now.
of
This
ours, so
lovely
we have
lady.
to
What's your name and
My name is Shannon.
what's your question?
How long did it take you to grow that 70s porn stash?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's very
I don't know what I'm talking about.
On June 23rd.
June 23rd.
Thanks. Thanks, that's a great question.
That was a great question.
Scintillating. You should be a journalist.
He's on Snapchat, by the way.
Ooh.
All right, any other questions? Oh, what? Oh, yes.
So it looks like you guys have a very interesting universe in Zephyria and all of that. What can we look forward to, or what can you tell us about what we're going to discover more on that side of the world coming up?
That's a good one.
Yeah, well, every episode sort of brings, like the bird in the first episode, there's a lot of elements from Zephyria that come over. And, we've established Zorn, Zorn talked to Headbutt Man on FaceTime. So Zorn makes some phone calls. We get to see some other Zephyrian characters throughout the season.
Yeah, and since it takes place in such a contemporary time, we have Facebook and Throwback Thursday where we can see Zephyria through his laptop in his cubicle. So Family Guy owns those flashbacks and stuff like that. I think this is really just a show about American suburbia and all the boring horrors that go with all that culture.
Way to sell it.
Yes, we have another question. Wait, you have to wait for the mic so people can hear you and our audience watching live on Facebook. Hope you're enjoying this, by the way, Facebook Live.
Hi, my name is Winfred. So does Zorn discover Grindr or Tinder?
Oh.
I'm not sure yet.
Oh,
I
is that
guess.
the question? Is it Grindr or is it Tinder? All right.
Specific to certain groups.
Just say
Zorn doesn't Zorn has a Tinder. Zorn has a Tinder, I think.
I know you were doing something on Facebook
For real.
Messenger during Comic-Con. You can message him.
Yeah, no, I think he has a Tinder account too. Look for Zorn on Tinder. I'm pretty sure he has Tinder.
A lot of girls will be either will be very disappointed or
He would do well on Grindr.
he would do
He's fit.
It seems to be exciting a lot of people. The show, you brought up something, out of everyone feels some sort of weird energy.
Some kind of weird. That's what we're trying to
Because
create.
you're watching him in a loincloth. I know it's hard to, he starts becoming like a real person at a certain point, right?
It's true.
When you're watching the show, at least.
Well, even when even when we started shooting, I mean the pilot presentation was really challenging because at that point I don't even know if I knew what he looked like. I mean,
I might have showed you on my phone.
Yeah, maybe.
And it was like a rough version.
Yeah, so it was, that was a little more challenging, but as you go on and you hear Jason's voice and Jason's comedy and you get to know Zorn and you really start to cross over to this imaginary world where you feel like Zorn is in the living room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we shot the show, like we all just became better as actors, being able to we developed a chemistry much more with
Zorn.
with Lippert, with Dan.
Yeah.
And so when you see us talking to Zorn, we're actually talking to Dan because we've gotten such a great chemistry with him. So that made it a lot easier. But in the beginning, like in this pilot, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We were just like, okay, I'll look at the X and I'll say that I love you, or whatever it was.
There was one time when I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks in where I started to, I was like, okay, we have to turn around and get Zorn's coverage. And all the cameramen were the same way. And then we all were like, oh, we're all crazy. He's not
There
here.
is no Zorn's coverage.
But I was convinced we had to do that. It just made sense.
Well, we also are allowed to, if a scene feels flat or something like that, and we have the luxury of being able to go back in and give Zorn lines at any time because you don't have to shoot it, you just add it after the fact. And in terms of developing this character and creating this character, the number one most important thing to us was that he was a real character that you cared about, and if you could get people to care about He-Man, then
Don't say that.
then that's all. No, because nobody gives a shit about He-Man. But
So you're saying if you have the power to give.
Hey, I'm
people-
Shira, Shira has power. Oh, I'm going to get into trouble now.
Yeah, just you have to care about him. You have to feel sad for him. You have to sort of feel like his stakes matter. And without that, it's just not a sustainable show for 100 episodes.
That's awesome. So what else can
200
we
episodes.
How many more? What else can we expect from the rest of the season? Any surprises, cameos, anything fans can look forward to?
Yeah, I just have to tell you that I'm telling you in every episode, something will happen that you cannot even imagine could happen. Because that's why our table reads were so fun, because there is this magical element to it where it whatever happens in the writer's room, I don't know what they're doing in there, but it is crazy because you'll be watching or reading the script or whatever, and all of a sudden there's a situation that you could not have thought of yourself that these guys and gals write, and it's hilarious. But but a lot of it you don't want to say because part of the fun is discovering it, and when you're watching it and you hear it for the first time, you're like, oh
shit. They did not just do that. But I'll turn it over to you.
But
No,
yeah,
I agree with everything you just said. I mean,
there are lots of things that are going to happen.
I just don't want to say what they are.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I
I don't
know.
want to say what they are because I think you'll just enjoy discovering.
And we would also have a lot
Use
of
Artemis's microphone.
And we would also have a lot of fun. Like we would get stuck in laughing and stuff while we were doing the scenes because as actors, like we're saying some like ridiculous stuff.
Oh, ridiculous.
And you have to sort of play it straight. And you have to play it like it's the truth and like you've heard this and said this before, and it's not shocking to us as actors or characters. But it would be so insane, and sometimes we just couldn't keep a straight face.
No.
Ding dong, ding dong,
Oh my God, ding dong.
That doesn't mean anything to these people.
But there are like surprises. There's great guest stars that we
Guest stars.
we have as animated voices.
You have Rob Riggle.
Yeah, Rob
Headbutt
Riggle
Man.
was the voice of Headbutt Man. You're gonna
Jillian Bell.
Jillian Bell plays
Headbutt
his
Girl.
daughter, Headbutt Girl. You're gonna be seeing them later this season. Nick Offerman is Clorpin's the cave doctor. He's like Zorn's doctor from Zephyria. And Olivia Wilde plays Zorn's ex-girlfriend, Radiana, the radioactive ex-girlfriend from Zephyria.
And Keegan-Michael Key played an old war buddy.
Oh yeah, Keegan-Michael Key.
Yeah.
What's that?
No, you.
Oh, we said it. Keegan-Michael Key.
Are you saying Olivia Wilde?
Yeah, Olivia Wilde is actually Jason Sudeikis' wife.
Oh, did I say girlfriend?
I don't know, but either way, it's
You've been
it's
reading
crazy.
Us Weekly.
That's the case.
I know. I like that he's like breaking news.
What are the odds?
Well, there's so much excitement. Do we have any other? We have another question. 2. Before we wrap this up.
Not you.
He's got the. Not you.
So I'm just kind of wondering in the future or wherever, are we going to see the family interact with another family with an animated family member?
Oh, another animated family member
Another
coming on.
father or spoilers?
No spoilers.
Well, like Donald Trump says about his foreign policy,
Oh no.
if we told you, then it wouldn't work. We want to surprise the enemy with our foreign policy. Fucking bullshit. So yeah, but there is a lot of, we don't want to tell you because it would sort of ruin it for you, right?
Yeah. Ruin it, but it would be more fun,
For you to discover it on your own.
Christmas gifts on Thanksgiving.
Another question. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Kelly, and it's pretty clear that you all have great chemistry. So what is your favorite moment together on set?
I call
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. The one you mentioned.
The finale, there was a scene that
Oh, man.
we were trying to get a lot of information across. It was actually like the last scene of the last show of the season where things changed for the second season. And we, like I said, we had to say these things that were serious, and we were trying to all keep it in check, and we could not. All of us were at the table too, and it started off with Cheryl saying "ding dong, ding dong." Are those? I can't even say the whole line. Yeah. And we just, my stomach. I thought I lost my mind. At one point, I was laughing so hard, I was going. I think I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
I've gone crazy.
I mean, we were really unprofessional to the point where. So
I
we
can't
would have to do
imagine.
if it was my coverage, I would not want anyone to look at me or make eye contact with me. Artemis could not be in the room, and I couldn't say if I got one of the lines right. I would say you guys have to use that one because I got through it.
They had to change the camera moves so you all weren't in the picture at the same time because one of you would crack.
Yeah.
It was
So they
bad.
changed it so
It
everyone
was
has a
bad.
single coverage. So it was bad.
Reed and I one day got to throw giant wads of hamburger meat at a window. That was fun. That was fun.
My favorite thing to do, my favorite moments on set are with this guy Kevin Ball, who's one of our grips, and he's just like this.
He's a key grip.
Cool.
Shout out to Kevin.
Kevin Ball, key grip.
K-Ball.
He's just like, oh hey man, what's up?
But there actually, my favorite with all of you guys. There's an episode where Zorn's his robot decoy. He's like Mecha Zorn. He's got this like rope. No, we've talked about robot decoy before. Yeah, so Zorn has this robot decoy that looks just like him called Mecha Zorn, and there's a scene that involves all of these guys, and everyone was very loose and doing a lot of improv and.
Well, Artemis, I shouldn't say this.
I don't know.
No.
Well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but when we shot this particular scene, Artemis and I did a shot of something first. Because
you did?
Yeah, because
I didn't know that.
Well, we needed to be loose for it.
Oh man! Well, that was a really fun day.
Involve a threesome with Zorn, or what was going on?
Start taking shots at the beginning. All right, it's your 5 a.m. call.
That wasn't
You're
my
doing
AM
shots.
call. Well, it was a crazy one.
It was. You guys, I gotta say, I can't even really focus. And it's not just the goblets of wine. This is the first time I've seen the episode.
I know.
really?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is yeah.
Tonight was the first time I saw the episode, and I swear to God, after the intro, I turned to Cheryl and I was like, "That was beautiful." Like, it was the sweetest thing. It was really amazing.
Was it when Skunk Man's head got ripped off?
What happened?
It's like the first time you see the ocean.
Yeah, it really is. Just to see like the world when they come in on his world, and the first time it was silent, and you're like, "Oh, this is fucked." And then you're like, "Oh, but it's beautiful." And then they start it again, and the sound comes in, and everything swells up, and I'm so proud of everybody. I really am. It's really beautiful, you guys.
You.
That's really awesome. Thank you.
Oh, God damn it. I almost
I
did.
think we have one more question. Oh, we have all of you guys just throwing up the questions. Can we continue with more questions? All right, one more.
I think I got the
All
mic
right. You got the
Sure,
mic.
Facebook won't mind. They got nothing else on.
Cool. So you guys mentioned this and then like brushed it off, but it is pretty clear that you're referencing these creative works in the 80s, like He-Man and Thundercats. So like what amount of research went into that? Were you trying to stay true to the characters, environments, even like the animation? Or was it just like a jumping off point?
Yeah, it was really a jumping off point. I mean, we used our animation studio is Titmouse, by the way. They're amazing, and we did a ton of research on just all of these, basically those fantasy genre cartoon, action cartoons from the 70s and 80s, from Filmation and Rankin Bass and Hanna-Barbera, everything from He-Man and Thundercats to Thunder the Barbarian and Conan the Barbarian and Black Star and like all. There's a ton of really obscure cartoons from back then that we looked at. And
Can you name those?
What? The obscure ones? They're so obscure that I can't name them.
Josie and the Pussycats.
Josie and the yeah. You mentioned Josie and the Pussycats in
every day. I was like, why don't you have Josie and the Pussycats in there?
We talk a lot about Paula Abdul and MC Scat Cat.
Oh.
You don't even know probably most
Every
of you.
day
But we sort of based it on like the looks of it, it's not based on a singular world. It's not based on Masters of the Universe or it's not Thundara or anything. It's sort of a combination of all of those different cartoons. It's supposed to remind you of a genre more than it reminds you of a specific cartoon.
It's He-Man.
And on that note, I think that's a perfect time to wrap it up. Give it up for the stars and brilliant mind behind Son of Zorn.
Son of Zorn.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I want to remind all of you, don't miss the series preview of Son of Zorn this Sunday following the NFL doubleheader on Fox, or watch it live on Xbox One or Xbox 360 through the Fox Now app. Also, Son of Zorn is premiering on Fox on the 25th, 8:30, 7:30 Central. So check it out then. Like this page on Facebook and share this video with your friends and share the Son of Zorn love, hashtag Son of Zorn, @Son of Zorn everywhere. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Yeah.